called to order. I'll call the roll. Dr. Holliday?
Here.
Mr. Grooms?
Here.
Mr. Fink?
Here.
Mr. Farley?
Here.
Dr. Houghton? Dr. Houghton is out of town. Mr. Rich? And Mr. Rich asked me to let everyone know that he's at work today, so he couldn't make it. And Mayor Brazil.
Here.
So you do have a quorum.
All right. We don't have any staff reports. Today, we're just gonna continue to work carefully through all this. So, old business is ordinance 27 through 26. Ordinance to impose a moratorium on the issuance of new business license for the short-term rentals within the city of Folly Beach until the completion of the approved short-term rental study, second reading. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a quick question. The completion of the approved short-term rental study, it ends with that. Would that give us enough room to make decisions of changes, or is it just gonna run up to that point and then we have to reinstall the moratorium, or should we expand it to?
So we've started with an initial 6-month period, which will get us through the end of the STR study recommendations.
Okay,
And so right now, it is written that this will expire,
Okay.
whichever comes first. The council, because the purpose of the moratorium is to allow council to hire the folks to do, hire them to do the study to come back,
okay,
you guys to make the choice on what you want to amend and propose it. So at the end of this 6-month period, you will have the proposed language from the STR study that you've reviewed and
Okay.
proposed for adoption. At that time, you do have the option to extend it. But
okay,
generally with moratoriums, we like to walk it back to the minimum 6-month
Okay.
initial period. But the goal is to have the study complete, your review of the study complete, and the proposed amendments finalized and presented to council by
Okay.
that date.
yes,
Scrivener error. Third whereas has a duplicate bin.
Just for the audience, the third whereas currently reads, adverse rulings have been subsequently been issued against the city. So we'll treat that as a Scrivener's error and strike the first bin.
And I got a one amendment on, to propose on page 4. I'd like to amend it from August 19th, 2026 to the August 26th, 2026. That's under section 8. Have a motion to approve that.
so moved. Second.
Any discussion on the amendment? All right, on the amendment.
All right, so this would change the date in item 8 from August 19th, which was last Wednesday, to August 26th, which is today. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes,
Dr. Holliday?
No.
Mayor Brazil?
Yeah.
That motion passes.
All right, back to the question of the amended ordinance. Any other discussion? All right.
On
Oh.
second reading as amended. Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
No.
Mr. Grooms?
yes,
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes second.
All right, no new business, any council comments?
I have comments.
All right.
The mayor has graciously allowed me to speak as a result of the fact that I will not be available to be at the next meeting on September the 8th, predominantly because I'll be working overseas, and before the judge ruled that the referendum was illegal, we didn't know this, and there has been a scheduled meeting on the 8th to discuss readopting the cap. I won't be here for it. I won't be here for it because I will not be out of town intentionally. I'll be out of town because I'm working, but I want everybody to know that it's my opinion, and for many of the constituents that elected me, that this is a bad idea. That we should not be readopting the cap. And I also appreciate the fact that since the appeal has been filed and moratorium is now in place, that there are pieces of action in place that does protect the city. But however, I don't believe moving before the study comes in is a wise idea. So my opinion on this is that I may disagree with the mayor, but I respect the fact that he is allowing me to discuss this. And that's akin to basically me not being here to have a conversation about something that I believe very strongly about, that we need STR reform, but we don't need a cap on this island. And as a result of that, I think it's bad faith to vote on a cap instead of the study results coming in. I believe the study results are the panacea that allows us to determine. It was the middle ground that I negotiated for. It was the common sense of the conversation that I think we all needed to have. Not your side versus my side, or the cap versus the anti-cap. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I want it to be an independent, third-party study that looks at the opportunities for us to determine what kind of reform we need. And I respect all the people sitting at this table and all the people who vote the way they vote. And I certainly know that they have the same convictions that I do, and they have rationale for the way they feel as well. But I want to make it clear. Voting on September the 8th to readopt a cap, in my opinion, is a massive constituency that you're overlooking. And more importantly, it is in bad faith because we're making decisions before the study comes in February. The study in February will be here in due time. And I felt like, and I thought when we discussed this, that that was a great opportunity. Yes, I will be able to vote on the second reading. If this passes, while I'm not absent, the horses left the barn. And I'm very concerned about thousands of public testimonies, emails, letters that have been sent in on behalf of constituents that unfortunately don't weigh the conversation without an independent conversation, and that is the study. And I read all of these emails. I read them all. I've been trying my best over the past year to go into restaurants, bars. I've been going into the places where people meet to talk about all this. And I've been trying to find middle ground. But we're a public beach, and we can't help the fact that day trippers will show up here, and we're closest to any other community in South Carolina. And those communities in South Carolina, when I come to this beach, because it's easy to get to, and it has always been a place where we could kind of let our hair down. It isn't a gated community. It's a place where we believe it's our home. And we chose to live here in this special place called paradise. And I think everybody at this table would agree with this. This is a paradise. But I implore you not to adopt a cap. Simply fulfill what you promised. And the promise being that we need an independent study, and that independent study could literally give us the information to guide us forward. Well, it's not whether you're right, they're right, or anybody's right. Believe it or not, two things can be right at the same time. And I strongly believe that if you take a balanced conversation here and you move it forward, you don't have to deal with downstream consequences of whether the appeal is won or lost. Let the study weigh it on its merits. It wasn't easy getting the study through, but we got it through and we're all supporting it. Let's stand behind it. That's my opinion. I would like to see that. We don't need these emotionally driven, divisive views that are basically being espoused on social media and everywhere else. Name calling. I mean, most of you saw that I was maybe a little unhappy at the last meeting, but it wasn't because of the petulance that I was accused of. It was because of my concern about things that have happened that I can't discuss in this meeting. But I can tell you that at the end of the day, it is important that we have the understanding what the difference is between when we vote on the cap. And I know everybody feels like the referendum, even though it was overturned, was still a vote by the citizens. And it was a majority vote by the citizens. But my question to you is, what's the difference between populism, democracy, and a republic? Because populism is the conversation that we're having here today. I could actually introduce an ordinance today that no alcohol is allowed in this city. And I would almost guarantee you that 51% of the residents would pass it because they don't want to deal with the public coming in and creating public safety malfeasance associated with the potential for drunkenness and things of that nature. We can't help that. It's always been a public beach. That's why we lived here. It's geography, people. That's all it is. But we can't ignore the constituents by the thousands that have sent these letters in. I'm simply asking you to please implore, waiting for the study to come in before you adopt a cap. There's people that I talked to at church from Bishop Gaston that want to be able to pay for memory care. And there are people that want to be able to rent their homes because they made an investment here, but they can't. There are people who are caught between the raindrops, and there's a lot of people that are standing in line in front of City Hall asking for licenses to be reviewed. If you look at them, they're locals. They're not BlackRock. They're locals. So I'm asking you to please consider not voting for a cap on September 8th, because that's not how a democracy works. A democracy works by allowing a republic for which we stand and we vote on and we pledge allegiance to. And a republic, it weighs the transactions of the members that they vote in, not the popular vote. And a democracy is used as a republic in order to oversee whether or not we should have a cap or not. My recommendation and my plea is don't use emotionally driven thoughts about concerns, whether it be appeals or lost appeals or anything else. Many of us know we came to this country. Why? To get away from a place we couldn't even have property, like England. And we love this place. But a democracy, and I'm going to quote somebody that you all know and I think you respect. I'm going to quote this person. Okay? A republic is when the majority does not get to vote away lawful use or fundamental rights simply because it has the numbers. Representatives are meant to act as a balance, not as a conduit for it, and when popular conflict or popular opinion interferes or conflicts with our constitutional needs, we have an obligation to the Constitution as a republic, not to populism, or for that matter, a democracy that's balanced on populism. And that's Omar. That's Omar Kalan, the person that many of you see as a community fixture on this island that go around and you spend your time spending time there. Omar even told me at one point, he goes, Blair, it's not about whether or not I don't have competition here. I welcome competition because I welcome free enterprise. The same reason why people want to be able to use their facilities and their houses and rent it and retire here, just like I did. Please give the citizens a chance to let the STR study show what it needs to study. It's just a couple of months. It'll be in February. And I think you've got to be courageous. I think the council needs to be courageous. We've got to take a leap of faith. And in my opinion, the study needs to decide whether we need a cap. Not emotional discourse, and not any of us, and not me either. Thank you.
Just
May
real
I make
quick.
a comment, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Doc. I appreciate Civic 101, but I passed that class. You know, I would recommend, and I would remind you that we're all on the same bus here. We have different seats on the bus and where we're going. There was no one that participated from this council that I'm aware of, and I attended all the meetings I could, all the planning sessions and everything else, that it ever came down to we versus they. Please don't make it that. And I appreciate your constituents, but when I ran for office, I ran under the idea that they're all my constituents here. And we try to take that into consideration. We're not going to agree, but we can disagree agreeably. I don't think that not waiting on the study is in any way, shape, or form compromising where we're trying to go as a balanced community. I think that's why we're doing the study, so we can amend the things we need to, so we can take the best approaches we can and do it collaboratively. But I would just caution you to be careful to only talk about your constituents, because I think there are constituents. That's just my seat on the bus, Doc.
I'm not recanting.
Okay, no, I'm not asking you to recant.
No, I'm not
I
asking you to,
represent
Doc.
everybody.
Okay, well, this today is just another step in the process. We're all sworn to uphold everything that we do for the best interests of the city. Today, we're just taking a step back with the moratorium so that we can have time to thoughtfully and clearly look at things objectively through the study. So I appreciate everyone's time today, so ask for a motion to adjourn.
Yes.